As the plane hit turbulence, Defense Minister Demir gripped his seat tightly. The voice from the cockpit was familiar. "Mr. Minister, this is Captain Emma Reed, the woman you expelled from the academy." Looking out the window, all he could see were the pitch-black storm clouds engulfing the aircraft. His life was now in the hands of the woman whose career dreams he had destroyed. Emma Reed's story began as a brilliant student at the Air Force Academy. In an era when female students could be counted on one hand, she outperformed her male colleagues in simulator tests and achieved the highest scores in theoretical exams. However, in the rigid hierarchy of the academy, some traditionalist officers believed women were not suited for the piloting profession. Colonel Richard Demir was at the forefront of these traditionalists. As the academy's training director, he made no secret of his prejudice against female pilots. Piloting requires instinctive reactions, physical endurance, and cool-headed decisions under pressure, he would often say. Women, due to their emotional nature, cannot possess these qualities. With just 3 months left until Emma's graduation, an unexpected scenario unfolded during her final flight exam. In a simulator emergency scenario specially designed by Colonel Demir, Emma was forced to make a decision outside the standard protocol. The result was recorded as a technical failure, and Demir used this failure to have Emma expelled from training. "The decision is final, Reed," Demir had said as he closed the file. "A pilot's decisions can affect hundreds of lives. There's no place in the cockpit for someone who acts on emotions like you." As she left the academy that day, Emma was determined not to show her tears to anyone. "One day," she thought, "I'll prove to you that you were wrong." 7 years later, Emma was working as a captain pilot for a private airline. Her dream of becoming a military pilot had ended, but her passion for flying never died. Rising quickly through civilian aviation, she had earned the right to fly the company's most challenging routes. During the same period, Colonel Demir's career had also advanced rapidly. His political connections and stern demeanor had earned him the position of defense minister. He was now one of the most powerful men in the country. By a strange twist of fate, the paths of these two people crossed again in an unexpected way. Minister Demir had left Washington for a critical NATO meeting, flying in his private jet to a secret military base on the eastern border. During the flight, a severe storm broke out in the region. The minister's plane was shaken by violent turbulence, and the left engine malfunctioned. The pilot requested emergency landing permission at a nearby civilian airport. However, weather conditions were deteriorating rapidly. There was only one experienced captain pilot at the airport that day, Emma Reed. When the control tower explained the situation, Emma hesitated for a moment. The person she was being asked to help was the man who had ruined her career. Then she remembered her professionalism. "I'm taking off," she said into her headset. "Give me the coordinates." Emma's plane quickly took off in the pouring rain. Visibility was almost zero. She needed to find the defense minister's plane and open a safe landing corridor for him. The situation on Minister Demir's plane was critical. As the pilot struggled with the backup engine, the storm was tossing the plane in every direction. A voice was heard over the radio. "Defense Minister Aircraft, this is Captain Emma Reed. I'll guide you." Demir's eyes widened. He recognized this name. He remembered the files, that stubborn female student he had expelled from the academy. "Impossible," he muttered. "This must be a joke." But it wasn't a joke. Emma's voice was clear, her commands precise. "I'll be on your left side. Follow me. I'll open a landing corridor for you." Diving into the storm with her small plane, Emma was accomplishing the nearly impossible. With radar almost useless, she was acting on experience and instinct, exactly the instincts that Colonel Demir had claimed women lacked. As the two planes flew side by side, Demir managed to look out his window and see Emma's plane. The female pilot was controlling her aircraft with perfect precision, even in dangerous weather conditions. When the storm intensified, Emma made a brave decision. Going beyond standard protocols, she marked the airport runway with a low pass, then led the minister's plane. "Follow me," she said over the radio. "Do exactly as I do." Demir's pilot hesitated. "Mr. Minister, this is against standard procedure." Demir looked out the window. All he could see was darkness and gloomy clouds, and in those clouds, the only light guiding them was the plane of the woman he had labeled emotional and inadequate years ago. "Follow her," Demir ordered. At this point, survival was more important than protocols. The two planes descended, battling against the strong wind. Emma relayed every step over the radio, guiding Demir's pilot. Her technique was flawless, exactly what was taught at the academy, but which only the most talented pilots could implement. On the final approach, the rain had intensified so much that the runway was invisible. Emma made one last maneuver, keeping her plane just above the runway to use it as a beacon. "Now," she shouted over the radio, "begin your descent." Demir's plane landed harshly on the runway. The tires hit the wet concrete, and the plane finally came to a stop. They were safe. Emma landed her own plane as well, and emergency teams rushed to both aircraft as the rain continued to pour with increasing intensity. At the edge of the runway, soaking wet, Defense Minister Demir and Captain Pilot Emma Reed came face to face. "Lieutenant Reed," said Demir, using her old military rank. His voice was unusually soft. "I'm not a lieutenant anymore, Mr. Minister," Emma replied. "I'm just a pilot." Demir bowed his head. "No, you're not an ordinary pilot. You never were." He paused for a moment. "I did you an injustice?" Emma smiled, but the old determination was still in her eyes. "I wish I didn't have to save someone's life to prove it." Demir remained silent for a long time. Then, "I want you to return to the academy," he said, "as an instructor. Without people like you, our aviation has no future." The expression on Emma's face changed. This could have been an offer she couldn't have even dreamed of years ago, but she was a different woman now. "Thank you, Mr. Minister, but my place is here, in civilian aviation. Perhaps one day when your system evolves to a state where a woman doesn't have to save a man's life to prove her success, I'll reconsider your offer." Demir nodded, understanding. "That day may be closer than you think, Captain Reed." 2 weeks later, an official announcement was made from the Defense Department. Fundamental reforms were being initiated at the Air Force Academy. Pilot selection criteria would be reorganized, and special programs would be created for the training of female pilots. And at the head of the program was placed an experienced female pilot transferred from civilian aviation, a former military student named Emma Reed. Sometimes fate uses the most unexpected storms to ensure justice, and sometimes all it takes to change a person's life is being in the right place at the right time, just as Emma Reed was on that stormy day. If this inspiring story touched you, make sure to subscribe for more powerful stories of remarkable women breaking barriers. Leave a comment below. Do you think Emma made the right decision? Hit that subscribe button to never miss our next episode, and don't forget to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon.